Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today, let's talk about how taking on more responsibility will help you get paid more. So guys, money, right? The people get paid the most in life. When you really think about it, right? Like all of the top professions, right? Like IT, STEM, the trades, the entrepreneurship, right? These people who get paid the most, one of the things that is a common factor in their ability to produce great results and solve problems is their ability to take on responsibility and become leaders. Like they're leaders most of the time. They have a expertise in something that requires a wide range of knowledge and know-how. So listen, you get paid. Honestly, I'll be very transparent with you and keep things real. You get in the marketplace, right? You get paid the most, right? I'm not talking about like internet influencer or business owner online or coach. I'm not talking about that. You get paid the most in your everyday interaction with people, these types of jobs where you're interacting with people, to take on the most responsibility, right? To take on the most difficult tasks, right? Like me, for example, I'm in management, right? Management is stressful, right? And that's precisely why I get paid more than everybody who I'm working with, right? So in management, right, what are you responsible for? You're responsible for the quality of your store. You're responsible for making sure people do their job. So you're responsible for making sure there's no conflict between your coworkers, people aren't fighting. You're responsible for the schedule, making sure people are showing up on time, making sure they're scheduled according to your labor budget. You're responsible for having difficult conversations when people act up or don't perform the way that they're supposed to. So, and that's why you get paid the most. And to be honest with you, right, that's why a lot of people complain about low pay, right? I mean, we're talking about management here, but that's why they don't get paid, because they refuse. It's a choice too, right? Because opportunities most of the time always present themselves to people if they're a decent hard worker, right? Like you can start to rise in leadership by hard work in the beginning, right? Once you establish yourself as a hard worker, most people will be like, okay, this guy can lead a small team, right, of a few people. But the issue becomes when, you know, you don't want that. Like you're like, no, like I refuse to do that. But at the same time, right, complain that your rent's too expensive, your mortgage is crazy, this, that, I can't afford this, right? When the opportunity for more money and advancement presented itself for you, you refused. So that's a small example, right? When it comes to like responsibility and leadership, right? And then problem solving, right? The people also that get paid the most, we're really talking about the trades here, are people who solve problems, right? Like for example, if you're in a trade, right, it's difficult, it sucks sometimes, because especially, you know, a lot of people who are apprentices or they're just starting out, you have to go and work with things, right? How do you know how to fix things, right? You have to not know how to fix it and try things, right? That's how you fix stuff. You don't fix stuff by just knowing how to fix it. You have to go in and you have to do whatever is required of you to fix that piece of equipment that you're working on. So, you know, the people who get paid the most oftentimes, and this is, I'm going to put this very bluntly and very succinctly, because I think I don't want to sugarcoat anything. If you are unwilling to take on the most amount of frustration, stress, and suffering, right? And it's not always like that, but the most amount of it that you will have to deal with, if you're not willing to take on those three things, then you're not going to get paid a lot, right? And if you don't get paid a lot, well, don't complain about shit, not being able to afford stuff. And it's not even about just affording stuff, right? A lot of guys complain that the women don't respect them. Women aren't interested in men, right? Well, if you're not rising up in leadership or you don't know how to fix stuff, right? Women are attracted to men who can solve problems and be responsible, be leaders, right? Think of it in our hunter-gatherer pre-ancestral days, right? Women would go to the men who knew how to survive, who had the most competent tribe, right? Who were skilled in different ways on how to maneuver in the forests and the jungles, right? How to build shit, how to build shelter, right? How to skin animals, how to, you know, the guys who had the most resources, the most weapons, right? Those were the women, the guys that had the best results with women, because it's like, yeah, they were the most competent. And on the other hand, right, the guys in the tribe that were not so great, right, or refused to be participating in the betterment, in the survival of the tribe, well, those guys would lose out and they wouldn't get laid. They wouldn't have families and be successful with women. So again, a lot of times, you know, I'm kind of connecting the pre-ancestral days to the modern times, but it's true. Like, if you're not competent, and again, there's so many opportunities in life now. It's hard for me to capitulate in my mind how you can be unsuccessful in America, right? Now, again, there's a lot of things that are against you as a guy, right? But if you're a guy watching this, right, you got to remember, no one is coming to save you, right? And I know you've probably heard that a lot from other influencers, but if you're a guy, wherever you go and whoever you have encounters with, outside of maybe your mom, but even your mom at some point is going to look at you like, what are you doing? If you're not producing if you're not producing something or fixing something, right? Or not, you know, like if your body is out of shape, if you're not competent in any way, if you don't know how to use certain tools, or you don't know how to fight, like, or a combination of all those, you're inadequate in most of those, you're not going to be successful in life, right? And again, it's tough to really take this as a reality, especially if you're kind of blue-pilled or you're unaware of like how you're perceived as a man. And I'm obviously talking about money here, so it makes sense. But yeah, I mean, guys, listen, you will suffer in life, right? That's inevitable, right? You're either going to suffer from a lack of work ethic, a lack of leadership, and as a result, you don't procreate, you don't enjoy women, you don't enjoy family, you don't enjoy other human beings, you don't get respect from other men, and then as a result, you don't have a lot of money, you struggle to survive, you struggle to pay your bills, maybe you end up going bankrupt, you go homeless, and then you die off, right? That's how life works, right? And again, that's a sad reality to some people, right? Like, it could be very saddening, like, damn, like, I thought like life was different. But humans are hardwired to look up to people who have some sort of competence and some sort of skill level to get them out of dark times, right? To get them to a better survival circumstance, right? So, you know, when, like, for example, like, I'm in my job, even in my job, like, there's times where I'm like, damn, like, these people suck. Like, they're so low IQ, or they're so incompetent, they're so inadequate, like, you know, they just don't know what to do. But again, I have to always remind myself, like, even just in passing, like in times where I'm by myself, like, this is what I signed up for, right? And I'm willing to take on that suffering. There's times like yesterday, it was actually funny. Yesterday, I had to go in early. I went in at like 4:30 a.m. because our doors were locked. Like, our store is a 24/7 location. So, you know, we had one person overnight, so the doors were locked. So I went in at 4:30, right? I went in, right? Worked my shift, right? And guess what? Had a great shift, tired. I was ready to go home like at 2, right? Because that's what I'm scheduled to. Guess what? I got 2 texts from both of my employees. Well, there's 3 people that were coming in. 2 of them texted me at 1 saying they're going to be late. One's going to show up at 4:30, one's going to show up at 5, right? The person who ended up who said they were going to come at 4:30 never showed up, right? The person who came in at 5, they came in at 5. But guess what? I had to stay because I can't just leave my one employee there by themselves, right? I'll get fired for that. That's called job abandonment, right? And most guys would scorn at that. Like, damn, I don't want to deal with that. Like, I don't want to work 13-hour days, right? Like, I don't want to have to deal with people's lack of being attainable to their shift. Like, I don't want to deal with that. But guess what? That's the role I'm in. That's the game I'm playing, baby, right? And I can cry about it and complain about it all I want, but I also have to remember that's why I get paid what I do, right? And you know, even with YouTube, like, yeah, this is actually easy compared to my job. This is easy. All I gotta do is talk to a camera, right? But at the same time, I'm still responsible for being knowledgeable on the things that I'm talking about. I'm still responsible for showing up every day to you guys so you can have a better life as a result of me being consistent and showing up and sharing what I know to be valuable. So yeah, guys, that's it. That's all. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe. If you guys have any questions, comments, feel free to leave them down below. And as always, I will talk to you guys soon. Peace.